Welcome back to FPL Banter. And myself, Mopey, got Woody.
Hello.
And Swabbers.
Hey, how's it going?
And this week it's the boat edition of the FPL.
Yeah, we're gonna have to keep things short because we wasted 10 minutes talking about Alex's dad's boat and where he lives.
Stepdad.
And the key.
Stepdad.
Sorry, stepdad.
He's not my dad.
So special shout out to the boat, which is cool.
What's it called?
I don't know. It's brand new. He's sailing it as we speak.
Le petit bateau.
The next podcast, he said he's going to record on his boat.
It's a little 6.5 meter. It's not massive, so I don't know if that's
We'll be
possible.
all at sea.
Well, 6.5 times 3 is close to 20, and that's in feet. So
that's in old money, as my dad would say.
That's looking better, yeah. So, congratulations on your boat. And if you don't mind, can we get back to FPL for 1 second?
Yeah, for just 1 minute. Yeah, sorry.
It's not just about you, is it?
Okay, so we did pretty well, actually. Just coming off the week, the average of 55, and we came in with 82. Not bad.
Pretty good. Not bad.
Not bad at all. Another green arrow. Yeah. So I think most people did quite well. There was certainly in the mini leagues, there seemed to be a lot of high scoring teams this week. So anyway, we captained Bamford, which was all right.
I think a lot of people did that, but I think Fernandes and Rafinha were the good shout, weren't they?
Yeah, Fernandes, Rafinha, or Dallas if you were well out there.
Yeah.
With a crazy Dallas captain. But yeah, I think if you had Rafinha, Dallas, and Fernandes in your team, captain or not, you did pretty well.
Yeah, true.
I
think that was
here's the conundrum of FPL, right? So there were people this week who captained Fernandes in spite of the fact that they had double game week players. Okay, so they still went, no, I'm going Fernandes.
Guilty.
And yet Fernandes now has a double game week, and he's not the most highest captained player. Which is weird, right?
Most captained at the moment.
People like Kane, Gundo. Well, there's a lot of options, but all I'm saying is, in my mind, with that logic, it should be Fernandes every time.
Yes, but don't forget the fixture that they had was Newcastle in the single game week for them, and that was almost guaranteed points. I'm actually surprised it didn't get more.
It was a generous assist as well, wasn't it? Really. I mean, just sticking your foot out and.
But we've learned that about Fernandes, if you remember from the reply I got from FPL, that Fernandes just, as long as he aims the ball at someone, he gets the fantasy assist. I mean, definitely.
I feel like if you put the word
fantasy,
if you put the word fantasy in front of anything, it makes it okay.
Yeah, could you give someone a fantasy red card? Yeah, we thought he should have gone. So it was a fantasy own goal. Yeah.
Yeah, we had Aguero on the bench. That wasn't great. 0 points.
Hey, we like a punt every now and then.
I'm sure
we like it so much that we didn't play him.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm sure he's going to turn up one of these days, and you guys will be like, "See, told you, Alex. Told you he's worth the buy for the whole season."
But that's the thing. I mean, he is supposedly fit. I know Pep has been saying he's been out for so long, he needs time to come back. But I mean, how much time do you need? But I mean, KDB started against Arsenal as the striker and the false 9. So it's a bit of a slap in the face for Jesus and Aguero, but it works obviously. But
why do they never say when Kane's playing? Oh, he's playing a real 9 position.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just taken for granted. When Mings is playing, it's like, he's playing a real 4.
Yeah,
I mean, but you can't play a false centre back, really, can you?
Well, it's a sweeper, isn't it?
Where would you go? Yeah,
you'd sweep.
I guess.
But to go back to the Arsenal City game, do we think that City dominated that? I mean, they dominated possession, but it's still a little bit. It reminded me of beginning of the season kind of City. We're winning 1-0, not capitalizing enough.
Yeah, but I mean, it was just one of those unlucky because it should have been more. It definitely should have been more. I mean, and to be fair, the goal they did score was so soft. What was Holding doing? But it's not like Arsenal threatened City's goal once, really, did they? Not an actual shot. I mean, it does say Edison made one save, but I think wasn't anything to get excited about. It probably bounced off Stones' face or something anyway.
Yeah. Leicester, that's something to get excited about.
Yeah.
Looking good.
Yeah, I mean, last week, but obviously they had Maddison. But I mean, we'll come into those issues when we look forward to next week. In terms of what we learned from last week, I think that one of the big lessons is Liverpool are officially toast. We weren't awful. Sure. You know, there was the corpse was convulsing. We weren't sure if he was going to come back and make it, but I think can we pronounce time of death?
No. I'm going to throw this out here. Captain Salah, done, mate.
Oh, okay, that is
already
done. That is not the official FPL Banter position.
No, it's definitely
that is Eric Logan expressing his own opinions. There, it's not endorsed.
Nah.
Franchise.
Okay, another thing. Chelsea, are they good or are they terrible? I can't decide.
I mean, they're good, but they don't particularly. There's been no thrashings, is there? There's been like 5-1.
Yeah,
it's quiet and honest, and they just sort of go about it and get 1-0, 2-0.
Yeah,
I think defensively they're very good. I mean, I've definitely got after this game week because their double game week isn't particularly strong. They've got City, Liverpool, and United. But after
a second ago you just said Liverpool are a dead corpse.
in terms of champion, in terms of going for the league,
okay,
as in their league threat. I mean, game to game, they're still pretty good. But I'm definitely thinking of looking at Alonso after the double game week.
And after looking at him, are you going to get him or not?
I was a Chilwell man, and he's been supplanted, and now I think I'm going to have to get on the Alonso train.
It is weird.
So weird, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying Alonso doesn't deserve a place. He's good, but it's just weird the way Chilwell's just dropped off the face of the earth.
And he's not even getting a sniff. Like, he doesn't even play in Europe. You know, it doesn't even come off the bench. And in fact, the second time he did start, he came off after 60 minutes, and Alonso went on.
Has he done his with Moisey? Has he done one of those?
I don't know. But it's literally Tuchel rocked up and was like, right, you're not playing. Like, from day one, it was weird. I think Tuchel doesn't like English people.
Does Tuchel have a daughter? That's the question we should be asking.
I don't know. Good guy.
No, I don't want to find out. That's going to go down the wrong. Anyway, so yeah, Fulham, again, we've been saying this for a while now. They're not bad anymore. They're kind of okay now, right?
Yeah.
So I think
they could well stay up. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we need to give them a bit more respect because they're playing Fulham. Fulham are playing Crystal Palace, I should say, and then they're playing Spurs. Yeah, I could see at least a cleanie in there. A few goals. Something to consider.
Yeah, no, it's not. Fulham, and obviously they're cheaper guys like Lookman, obviously, and their new Maja striker or Maja. I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce it, but
question is he Portuguese or not? That's exactly how you answer that question.
Exactly. I mean,
okay, so
I'm not going to look it up, but
we need to.
There's one other thing I want to bring up as well about the double game week in particular. Rafinha.
I mean, Rafinha's a really good player. He's on.
Could he do a Fernandez? Could he do a Fernandez? Do you know what I mean? Like from last game week, he just scored 12 points at least. Do you know what I mean?
Because that is, I'm humming and hawing about whether to play him or not. Also because he's particularly last against Southampton, he switched out to the left at half time and absolutely monstered the game. Helder Costa came on, played in the right wing. Harrison went off. So if they start him on the left against Al Mohammadi at Villa, I can see him just tearing the place up.
Yeah, but once he gets past Al Mohammadi, it'll be like Tyrone Mings, who's defensive rock.
Then he'll be marking Banff in the middle.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Banff runs through the middle. I'm just saying, just because he's not got a double game week, don't write him off.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, so we need to discuss something, which is strategy for the weeks coming up.
Yeah.
And
sorry, I thought you were going to continue there.
Well,
posing the question.
Yeah. See, this is how we do it. I bring something up and then you guys discuss. But anyway, so we got some interesting things happening other than this double game week, which we, of course we'll get onto. We have City and Southampton both have a double game week in game week 27. Game week 28 right now is just a bit normal. And then game week 29 is the one to watch out for. There's only 8 teams playing out of 20. So And
as it stands.
Yeah, and there's no real standout games that look high scoring, which makes it even more difficult because fielding 12 or 11 players wouldn't really make much difference, it would seem. So definitely one needs to start thinking about their strategy here. And, if you had a chip, perhaps using it, or if not, planning for your team ahead. So we're going to have to have
just
a think about that.
With that in mind, what are you planning on just drip feeding in some fixtures each week, some signings each week?
Yeah, so for myself anyway, and I'll hear from Alex in a second, but I'm going to basically plan on fielding about 8 players, mainly from transfers over the next few weeks. And I'm not going to go big and I'm not going to plan anything drastic because I just don't think that game week will warrant it. So I think I'm going to accept that that's going to be a low-scoring game week.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, from my research, from what I've done, I shared with you guys an article from FPLconnect.blog, which kind of lays out how to maneuver game week 25 to game week 30 without using a wild card or a free hit. So definitely look that up if you're looking for some inspiration. But bottom line is, as Eric has reiterated and then come to the same conclusion, try and aim to have 7 or 8 players playing for game week 29 and start planning accordingly. So you can already start. I mean, Spurs players, that's an obvious one for game week 29.
But and West Ham, I think. But then those kind of games can go either way. Like,
Yeah. I wouldn't worry about it to a certain extent, but just plan a little bit. Just, I mean, usual. Like, I mean, Villa, you've got Grealish, fine, keep him. Maybe consider getting Watkins up front because he's not a bad shout up front anyway. Then you've got Spurs, Kane, and Son straight away. And if Aurier's back, maybe throw him in the defense if you need a new kind of defense. And Leeds, you've got Bamford, you've got Rafinha, you've got Harrison, you've got Dallas, you've got some good players in there.
There's definitely enough to get a good solid 11. But I mean, so the other question is, if you do have a free hit, it seems a bit of a waste, a bit like the last blank game week we had. Would seem a bit of a waste to play the free hit on pretty average fixtures. I mean, if it was.
But as you pointed out, we don't know when there's going to be another game week like this. Do you know what I mean? Like another short game week.
What I think about free hit is if you haven't used it by now, because there's been ample chance, but if you haven't, the great time to use it, especially if you're quite tight in your mini league, is the last week of the season, like the very last game week, and just go all out. Even if it's not a double game week, and that can actually win you the season the last week.
Is that what you did last season, Eric?
Close to, yeah. It wasn't the very last week, but basically I brought in some players that no one else could bring in without taking a massive hit. And it boosted me up to second from third, which was a big deal because the person I beat was livid about it. We all know who that is. So.
Who was that? That was Tal, yeah.
Yeah, I brought in Sterling, and he was my differential, and I triple captain, or no, not triple, but I captain, and he came in with a 17-pointer or something. Yeah.
But here's another. You raised. Sorry, go on, Woody.
I was going to say with these unpredictable times, I think because I've still got my free hit. I think I might sit on it and just try and build up like you say, 7 or 8 players.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I've already got Everton, I've already got Villa, I've already got Leeds. So you know what I mean. So I'm already not too bad. And if you're in that position, then just throw in a few extra.
Everton. I mean, Everton aren't playing game with 29.
Oh, they're not.
No.
Oh, sorry.
So be careful with that. Yeah,
that doesn't help then.
Yeah. But
okay, should we sail on through to the team?
Yeah, just before we do that, though, I mean, I guess we can raise this after we've gone through the team. But do you think that people should use some chips though for this double game week, bench boost or triple captain if you've got any left? Because I have both of those.
Definitely triple captain, and if you've got a bench with at least 2 guys on a double game week, then absolutely, I mean, as you
triple
said,
captain Aguero, it's an obvious choice
yeah. With the way the fixtures are done this season, I'm not sure how much effect sort of the European later stages are going to have on domestic leagues. I think they've built space in for it.
Yeah.
So I don't think that. So that I think like your Cities and Liverpools and stuff aren't going to have. There's not going to build in too many more double game weeks. Maybe the FA Cup and stuff will, but this might be the last chance where there's a lot of good players doing a double game week. So use them chips.
Okay. So. Woody, I don't know if you appreciated my nautical pun before about sailing through to the team, but anyway, we do a team of the week every week, and
that floated right over my head.
Exactly, yeah. And so, if it's in 100 mil budget, so if you want to play a wild card, this is your week. So, shall we start with the defense and the goalkeeper?
Who wants it?
I haven't done it in a while, so I might as well get it done.
All right.
Get it done. All right, so we are going for a 4-4-2 formation, and in goals we started off strong with Edison. I mean, I don't know how many. It's hard for me to think about, as I mentioned, I think yesterday in our private WhatsApp group, of any goalkeeper who can assist goals on kind of a season by season basis, but he keeps on doing it, Edison. So he's quite a unique goalkeeper, I would say.
I mean, whatever floats your boat, mate.
And then, I mean, they're playing. So as we know, City are playing West Ham at home and Wolves at home. So both home legs. So, I mean, you would expect them to have a cleanie. At least
I do think Edison is the goalkeeper going forward now because he's definitely nailed and he's pointy. I mean, the only thing he doesn't get is saves, and that's down to the fact that they're really good. But I reckon he's probably, as of now, the highest points goalkeeper going forward.
Are you just saying that to wind me up because I sold him?
No, but I mean, Martinez is great. Don't worry. Don't feel bad about that. It's fine.
And he's had COVID, so presumably he won't be able to get COVID again within this season, right?
Martinez?
No, Edison.
Yeah. True.
Okay. And then moving on, we've got another City defender, City player, Stones. Again, good player. We felt that he could score the odd header if needs be.
He's rested as well.
He's been rested during the week, exactly.
But the only thing I'd say about Stones, even though I do like the pick, is that he could get rested again, or he could just only get one game. That's the only downside to Stones.
But that's true of City players in general, I think, except for Edison, right?
That won't be true of other players like the next player you're going to mention.
Yeah. Digne, Everton, Luca Digne.
Oh, he's a good player, isn't he?
Yeah, he is good. He's good. It's good that he's back. It took him a while to get kind of back into the swing of things. He did score on his first, or assisted on his first game back, but he's slowly getting back into his form. And they're playing, Southampton.
Southampton, West Brom.
God. I don't know what's happening with the Southampton, but anyway, Hasenhüttl surely has to go soon enough if it continues being dire. This bad. Wits in our group has mentioned the fact that why wouldn't you just start Ings against Leeds? Do you know what I mean? Why would you not do that?
Because he was probably fatigued. I mean, I'm thinking it's the only reason I can think of is that he's just not fit enough to do 90 twice in a row.
No,
I don't know.
Well, he didn't do much.
He has just come back from an injury as well. So you don't aggravate it, do you?
Yeah. But anyway,
but still, it was weird. I mean, you think about it. But again, when they played two up front and they rotated. Or they swapped each game, their two main strikers, Ings and Adams, and Redmond played both. Like, what's that about? Surely you'd keep Adams on both and rotate. You know what I mean? Like, it's a bit weird. Anyway.
And then Everton also, Digne is playing West Brom away, and they're quite leaky as well. Let's be honest. So that should be a good one. Then we've got old Lukey Shaw. Playing against Chelsea and Crystal Palace, both away legs. Manchester United, as we know, have been doing better away anyway. So, Crystal Palace. I think we can all remember what Liverpool did to Crystal Palace back in December. And other teams keep on doing. So that should be quite an easy one without Zaha as well. So still without Zaha. So, yeah.
Are you claiming another 9-0?
No, I'm going to say a healthy 3-0. 3-0, 3-1.
Now that you said that, you watch United lose both those.
And then we've got Reguilon, who's back from injury, I believe, against who Spurs are playing Burnley and Fulham. Fulham as well, as Eric has been saying the last few game weeks, you shouldn't underestimate them anymore. But I still think that they're still a bit tentative when it comes to scoring goals. They're not consistent when it comes to that. So hopefully we'll get a cleanie. And, Kane's back. Kane and Son are back in there. Kane has been rested during the week.
And Son, both rested.
Both rested. They've all been rested.
All been rested.
Yeah. And then, that's Reguilon. And then on the bench, we have, I believe, is Aina, who, playing Crystal Palace and then Spurs. So it's a bit of a difficult one, but he's on our bench. He's our first sub. He's been doing very well. Oh, yeah, and our backup goalkeeper as well as Areola for Fulham. So let's see how Fulham do. But Aina has been delivering consistently, so I'm sure he'll bring in a couple of a few points.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there is 3 Fulham on the bench. I mean, a bit optimistic, but maybe we want to look at that. But yeah.
Okay, midfielders. I'll take those with you if you don't mind.
Sure.
Right. So Fernandes, 2 away games. He loves being away, doesn't he? Does he still love being away?
United generally have very good away form.
Exactly, as I mentioned. Yeah.
And honestly, he scored in the last 4 in a row in the Prem. Scoring, that's pretty good. And last night they played. Well, annoyingly, he got 90 minutes last night for the Europa tie, and he
got 45 minutes.
So sorry, 45. But what I was going to say was that he actually hit the crossbar and played pretty well. So he's definitely in form, and he is currently our captain, unless that changes. So next player is Salah. Yeah, we haven't given up on you, Salah. So that's good. He's still there, and Sheffield United and Chelsea. You know what? Salah could come back with a bang. He really could. I mean, I wouldn't go loading up on Liverpool, but personally, I've got Salah in my own team, and I like it. Quite happy with that. So
what about him not showing up against the big teams?
Yeah, I accept that, Woody. That's a very good point. But if there's ever a time for them to be like, for the manager to rile them up and to say like, look, we got to get back into this, it's now, right? I mean,
it's now or never.
Yeah, I think Sheffield United away is a pretty good fixture to go win a game, for once. So I don't know about Chelsea, but yeah. And Salah takes penalties, so 2 games where they might get a penalty. It's not too bad. Then we have Barnsley, who's been in great form. I'm still unsure about this one, but I do think it's a good time to bring him in.
This is where we need to address the Maddison situation, and particularly based on their performance in Europe last night without him. Granted, they rotated a lot of their first team players, which I thought was a bit over the top from Brendan Rodgers, but and it showed, and they lost and they played terribly. But should we all be concerned?
It's hard to know, isn't it, with Matters, isn't it? Because he's a great player and he does kind of command the team, doesn't he? When he's in the team,
he links the midfield and the attack together. And don't forget, I mean, I'm not saying it was coincident, but he got injured at the end of last season and then missed it with his hip, and that is exactly when Leicester tailed off and went from top 4 to top 6. So he might have that much of an effect. So there's a bit of a risk bringing in Leicester without Maddison.
Can we say the same? Sorry to hijack your midfield list, Eric, but what about Grealish? Are we worried about Grealish? Is it the same situation with Grealish?
I would say evidentially, I'd say we are, because we've put no Villa in our team. Yeah. So obviously we think, whereas I think if Grealish was fit, I would say Grealish would definitely be in the team, and probably so would Watkins.
Yeah.
So I think, but the evidence suggests that we are concerned.
Yeah, I agree with that, and totally agree. I think Grealish. I mean, the last game you could tell they were missing him, right? Big time.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't have the same impact.
And weirdly, I mean, it doesn't get spoken about as much because he's obviously not as a bigger player, although I actually think he might be better looking. They also missed Matty Cash at right back. Like their whole back four was out of shape. Just something to be aware of with Villa, even though they've got 2 great fixtures.
Yeah,
that's the thing. So I wouldn't blame anybody for getting in like Traore or Watkins or Target, Martinez, something like that. But just be aware, Maddison and Grealish being out. But then this underline the whole thing was, will he be out? Or is Dean Smith playing the old...
I know, and this is the problem.
Injury hijinks.
Season, I reckon if we could have a version of FPL that didn't have those little triangles and just go with our gut kind of thing, it'd be better, because it just screws so many people over. I mean, if Grealish shows up twice now in both games and they end up sort of winning both 3 or 4-0, we'll all just be like, cheers, mate. Anyway, so
all the people that sold Grealish.
Yeah.
No, what made me laugh about that story is the fact that Dean Smith came out getting livid about FPL and all the Aston Villa players now and staff are not allowed to play FPL. And then if you go on the Aston Villa website, the first thing that comes up is FPL tips ahead of game week 26. It's ridiculous. Wow. I'm just kind of like, okay.
It's an FPL pandemic over at Aston Villa.
I do have a question. Why are you going in the Aston Villa website? Is there
the reason why, I'll be honest with you, I'm trying to look for the times of when Dean Smith is coming on to talk about whether Grealish is going to be injured or not, because that's a big basis. That's a big decision-making process for me.
It is. And the thing, what would you say, being as you are one of those people, I think Eric as well, if you have Grealish, what do you do? What do you?
I know this is the thing. I
don't know why you're waiting for the press conference, because he's going to lie in it anyway. Whatever he says, you can't take it 100%.
Same with Maddison. If you have Maddison, I think Maddison. I don't think he'll play both. He might play the second, but it's a recurrence of his old injury, and Brendan's been really cagey. Like, oh yeah, he's seeing the specialist, but you know what I mean. It's not like, oh yeah, it's just a bruise. He'll be back in a couple of days. It's like, so I think Madders is gone. He won't play both. Maybe not either.
I think Grealish won't either. I think Grealish will play one. If he's not playing against Sheffield, then he'll. If he's not playing against Leeds, then he'll play against Sheffield, which is still a good. So I don't think I'm going to get rid of Grealish personally. I don't think so, because again, game week 29, he's there. Anyway, let's continue with our team. Sorry.
All right. So quick recap: midfield: Fernandes, Salah, Barnes. Our fourth player on the pitch is Gundo. And again, no real introduction needed. He's been great form. He's got great fixtures, West Ham and Wolves at home. And the only question over the Gundo thing is whether his position has been altered due to the fact that KDB is back. And we all know that Gundo's a good player, but if he's not being told by Pep to go forward and score goals, which it's possible he's not, then he's just going to be one of those midfielders that no one buys anymore, just like last season. So I don't know. I think this is kind of going to be this double game week will be a good way to assess his position.
Against Arsenal, his role hadn't changed at all. Like, he's still making late runs into the box. KDB was playing as the false nine.
But the thing I don't understand, Woody, is that Gundo was playing KDB's position before KDB was back, wasn't he?
Not his position, but he took up he was playing the false nine.
They had three at the front.
He was playing left of Rodri or left of Fernandinho. He just was, and he still is. He never played in the front row. He just made late runs to the box, but he was on a lot more set pieces as well.
Yeah,
so that's where he will make less points with the free
kicks. Who's going to take the penalties? Who's going to take?
It's got to be KDB. I think I'm banking there's going to be KDB from what Pep said before about, we need a dedicated penalty taker who just does that. None of this, who fancies it. So I reckon it'll be KDB unless Aguero comes back.
Should we get Aguero? I'm just kidding. Okay. And to finish that off, just to make sure, we have Ollie Burke. Woody's boy Berkey. So he's on the bench with a juicy double game week fixture. Liverpool at home and Aston Villa at home, baby. Yeah,
mate. So, that is as deep as your bench needs to get.
It is. That is deep. There's depth there. So there you go. That's the midfield.
All right, strikers. To be honest, it's pretty obvious this week. I say that actually. There's actually a few good options, but we've gone with Kane and Calvert-Lewin. Kane rested in midweek. Everton didn't play in midweek. DCL, Southampton, West Brom, pretty scory fixtures. And Kane, although it's Burnley and Fulham, who are both tight at the back, it's Kane. And if they're going to nick a 1-0, he'll be involved most likely with a goal or assist, and then some juicy BPs going his way. So pretty obvious. And then just finishing off the bench is Bobby Di Cordova-Reid, the man with the longest name in football.
It's actually Robert.
Roberto. How many more syllables do you want? Get greedy. But so there you go. 3 Fulham on the bench. Captains.
Yeah, who'll be captaining then?
Okay, for me it's pretty obvious. It's going to be Fernandes. I don't want to overthink this.
I thought you were banging on about Salah.
No, it's Fernandes, mate.
Oh, all right.
I don't know.
Alex?
I don't know. It's a difficult one. See, I'm really looking at DCL. I'm kind of like, Southampton, West Brom. Those are some nice, tasty fixtures. But DCL doesn't come up with the hauls. He comes up 1-2 goals, maybe an assist, but it's not. Yeah. Since he hasn't come up recently. Yeah,
not since the start of the season, really, or that one game against United. But
So I think I'm gonna
Kane
go.
is definitely an option. Let's be honest. Kane is an option.
I think I might do Kane. I think I'm going to vote for Kane.
Ooh, Woody, you've got the big decision there.
It's not to me, is it?
It's tough.
What if I want to go Gundo?
Well, then we have to decide which one we want to get rid of to make the decision. Is that what you want?
I think if I had to choose between Kane and Fernandes, I'd say Fernandes.
All right, there you go. So we're there.
Okay, and we'll give Kane the customary vicey.
Yeah.
Okay, and just last thing to discuss, because some people might want to just bring someone in, a bit punty. So what do we feel about Watkins up front?
I've done it. I've gone Antonio out, Watkins in.
Okay, so no Grealish, no problem, right?
Yeah,
exactly. For me. And Grealish might play, and he might more likely play the second game. And if Grealish isn't on the pitch, then Watkins might take penalties because El Ghazi's not on the pitch that much either. So
okay. What about Son? We haven't talked about Son.
He's gone a bit quiet in the last few weeks, hasn't he?
A little bit. Although he hauled against West Brom. A haul is 10 points, and he got 10.
Yeah.
Son instead of Kane is a cheaper option into the Spurs attack, you know.
Yeah, I think either one of those, because Kane's gone off the boil a little bit as well. I think either one of those is as good as the other. I mean, I've got Son and I've kept him, but.
And what about Richarlison? Richarlison's back, man. A goal in each fixture.
But DCL's back. That's the thing. Richarlison did well when he was the lone striker. When DCL's back, I'm not saying don't get him, but this is the thing: they're both forwards. So basically, you're committing to having DCL and Richarlison as your strike force, which is just a bit bold. And if I had to pick one between the two, I'd go DCL.
Okay. Well, look, that's the podcast for the week. Very best of luck for the double game week. Don't be disappointed, because sometimes these things let us down, right? Double game weeks can be a bit of a cruel mistress. So
they can. They really can.
Have a bit of depth, have a bit of Berkey depth, as we say. And we'll be back next week to talk you through the next double game week and then the blank week. So best of luck and see you next week.
See you next week.
Ciao, ciao.